Hey everybody, welcome back. I am the Strategy Professor. This is going to be episode 2 of our Legendary Vampire Accounts campaign with Total War Warhammer. So last episode we won a couple of interesting and relatively tight battles. We took our initial starting fight and then we actually chased the guy all the way back to Castle Templehof, and then we fought him too with the garrison with this other army. So I hope that gave me enough street cred with you guys where you'll keep watching and just seeing some of the tactics that I like to use in fights. None of that was too exploitative. Once again, it came down to the wire. I wasn't, running around the corner of the map just spamming magic and, spamming Manfred's ability. It was a pretty clean, straight-up fight, which is charging cycling with Vargulf and Manfred, specking into the healing, specking into the hunger with Manfred so that he could face tank a lot of those mobs, and then running him out and charge cycling him as well. So yeah, I think it was a pretty standard, pretty clean fight, and it played to the vampire's strengths, which, are magic and regeneration. Those are two of the major things that you need to be utilizing as the vampire count. So overall, I thought it was a pretty strong episode. So let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. So right now we're just sieging Templehof. This is still the first turn. So we have to wait a turn or two, and we should be able to auto-resolve that in a couple of turns, because they have almost nothing left. Remember I said I wasn't going to do any exploitative auto-resolves? This guy has virtually nothing left. I can just, run this guy down and just spam, Soul Leech on him. The garrison has almost no health on anything, I'm pretty sure. It's not going to show us, but we literally killed everything last fight, so they shouldn't have anything at all. But they did get a few units back. But yeah, it should just be a stomp, so I'm not going to make you guys sit through that as a manual fight. I would just walk up as the Vargulf, knock down the front gate, just scale the walls with the zombies, and this Manfred would be able to solo just about everybody. So, okay, so we already raised dead. Yep. So we're good there. We already started our main building here. I explained in the last video which buildings I'm going for. So after we pick up Castle Templehof, I would like to pick up all of these other places. I think I'm going to go ahead and get an extra lord here as well, just so I can go ahead and start that process. Because this, let me see. Yeah, this only has 5 units. So I should be able to hire somebody now, hire some units, and then run over there, and we might even get, we might even be able to hire more dead after that, so we'll see. But yeah, I want to go ahead and definitely get another lord going here, just so I can get a little bit more map coverage, because you want to expand as fast as possible early on with the vampires. Just take out all this other vampire stuff. I've figured out you have to slow up, just tap the gas a little bit, because last campaign I tried to go out here and start taking over all of this stuff too. And the Empire starts off with some very, very strong armies that will destroy you if you try to run out here. So I didn't get totally destroyed in that campaign, but I definitely got pushed back. And I was able to hold this, but it was a lot rougher than I would like for it to be. So let's keep that in mind. I think we're going to get all the vampire stuff, and then we're going to set our eyes on Zufbar here, hopefully, and get a bunch of this stuff. And I'm not sure, I think this campaign I'm going to try to work my way south. Last campaign I really upset some of these north people, and the problem with taking stuff in the north is this is such a huge geography, and the towns just really aren't that wealthy, I don't think. As I explained in the intro, the vampires have a really hard time, at least in my first little experience with them, in generating money. So I really need to find gold mines. Gold and diamonds are going to be instrumental in my success. And so I know that there's a mine over here that has a gold mine, this place, Grand Peak. I know the dwarves also get a huge benefit out of it. I don't think I will get that same special building, but it is a gold mine. And the dwarf capital has a gold mine, and then the orc capital has a gold mine down here. So I'm thinking if I can work south. This would also be an insurance policy if I can start getting everything in the south, because I'm just not sure if I'm able to hold this when chaos comes through. I think I can, but we'll see. But I think I might be best suited by trying to work south, I'm not sure if the humans are going to let me do that, but I think if I can try to work south, that might be in my best interest. I'll have to go through the mountains, which is very annoying when you don't have the underway, but we'll see. We'll see how it works, but I need to get to gold mines, that's for sure. And I don't think there are any out here. I've never been out here, actually, in my other campaigns. Not yet. So I'm not exactly sure what all is out there, but gold is key because we're not going to be able to trade a lot of other resources. Okay. Let's look at diplomacy real quick. So
welcome, kin.
Sometimes if people are in decent diplomatic, if they have decent diplomatic relationships with you, they'll just give you money. These guys will not. Usually it's only if they're very friendly with you. So we don't have anyone that's green, and we're not going to get it. If you look, we just have a natural aversion with most people. They just don't like vampires, which makes sense, but I don't know why they even gave the vampires a trade mechanic, honestly. Like, because you're not going to get friendly with anybody except for other vampires, and you have to take these guys out early. At least I'm pretty sure, you know, they set it up to where it looks like you really want to take them out, because they're very weak. They also have vampiric corruption underneath them, so it's real easy to transition into their towns. So, I don't know, the only people you could even remotely have a chance of, you know, having diplomatic relationships with, you wipe them out. Because there's no other vampires, I don't think. There's not any vampires like hiding over here or over here. Not that I know of. Not that I've ever seen. Maybe there are. But I don't think so. So, the trade mechanic just seems like a waste. Okay. So I can declare war on some of these people also for the Empire. Because I don't think they're ever going to be relevant. They're way over here. They're relatively small factions. So, as I've done in my other campaigns...
You are no lord of the Empire, vampire.
You can sometimes join wars, and the computer will pay you to join these wars. Now, you have to be careful. They're not going to pay us for that one. They might pay us 300. Let me just see. I mean, every little bit of gold, as I've said in the other campaigns, matters. Yes, okay. Every little bit of gold matters because it just gets so tight on Legendary. Like, you'll just find yourself in places where, you know, if I get 300 gold here, 300 gold there, every single turn with diplomacy, by doing different things, declaring war, having people pay me for peace, potentially trade agreements, but it's mostly just going to be bartering with wars. I think, well, not bartering, not trading a war for a war, but buying wars and selling wars. Okay, so we're demanding payment. We're just going to try to join all of these things. I think 300 seems like a number they're comfortable with, so... Now, you do want to be careful. I bit off a bit more than I could chew last time. In my 20-turn episode, I went to war with some people that I don't necessarily... that came and were knocking on my door with like 20-stack armies, and I was able to deal with it, but it was very pesky, so... Who else? I see Zufbar doesn't like us, but
dare approach a lord of the Dowie in such
yeah, they'll pay us
manner?
high money for going to war with the Bloody Spears, and there aren't many Bloody Spears left. And this is the kind of war that I'm okay with because Zufbar is between us and them. So until I take out Zufbar, these guys have a huge barrier between them, and the dwarves are not just going to let them walk right through there and get to us, I don't think, because they're also at war with them. So this is a pretty safe war. Now, if I take Zufbar and I haven't been able to get peace with the Bloody Spears, then that could be problematic. But as I said, I probably want to go over here anyways to try to get this gold mine. So I'm okay with this. I think 1,000 is what I got last time, based on memory. So we got $1,000 for going to that war, or 1,000 gold. Excuse me. If you're from, you know, Britain, Europe, Asia, anywhere else in the world, I know you guys probably don't have dollars, except for like Australia and a few other places. But anyways, okay, it's looking for wars. I really don't want to stir these guys up in the north. Also, I mean, I suppose I could give them gifts, but I just don't have that kind of money to deal with that. So. Neck snappers, bloody spears. I could declare war on the dwarfs. Well, that's what I should have done first, actually. Before I declared war on the Bloody Spears, this is what I did last time. I declared war on the dwarfs, because the dwarfs can't really get to you easily either early on. So I kind of bungled that a little bit, but that's okay. So just think about the order that you're declaring your wars to. So see, if you're going to declare war on somebody, be sure to check them out and see if they have anyone that you can declare war on for them and get some cash out of that before you declare war on that faction. I know that sounds strange, but basically look at anyone that you're going to declare war with and see if you can get money out of them first. Also, if you're thinking about going to war with somebody, see if somebody else will pay you for that war. Don't ever do anything for free in this game if you don't have to. So, okay, so there's all of our... So we made 1,900, which is about 30% more money off of just declaring some wars. And I don't think those wars are going to be relevant, at least in the early turns. We should be ready for them if people start sending units. So one thing you'll notice about the vampires, which I mentioned before, if you get up a lot of vampiric corruption, it's huge. Because, as you can see, I basically get a free 10 public order, which is nice because it cancels out the difficulty level and the taxes. So it's a nice little bonus. You still have to build a building to get to this level of vampiric corruption, at least early on. So it's not like you're getting to skip building a building for vampiric corruption. But you may not have to build as many buildings. You might only have to build one. For example, instead of 2 or 3 refectories with the dwarves, you might only have to build one of your lynch yard or brazier. Although if you level this up, then you get vampiric corruption in adjacent provinces as well, which is awesome. So, okay, so let's go ahead and get this lord going here. From my experience, I feel like the vampire lords are always better. Maybe not. So they have the, I believe they have the exact same spells as the necromancer, but they are much, much more sturdy in combat, and they get some useful combat, like the healing thing that Manfred has. You can get that with the vampires. That's extremely useful. So they have more health. They are just vastly superior in melee combat. The only thing that these necromancers have going for them... Let me actually check this really quick here. I just want to check to see if the normal necromancers have this master necromancy thing. Okay, I suppose this is down or something, so we won't do that right now. But anyways, it would be nice to see if these guys have the master necromancy. We can figure it out later. I'm uploading an episode, so maybe that's slowing down my internet, so I can't get to the guide. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and get a Vampire Lord. I think they're better 99% of the time. The only thing that these guys have is Master Necromancer, or it's like some ability like that, like Master of the Dead or something, where it basically regenerates everybody around you, which can actually be quite strong, but it's at the cost of not having any combat effectiveness at all. So you're just regenerating units around you, and I think it's 2 HP per turn, so it's not a ton, but it is useful. I mean, over the course of a 5-minute fight, or did I say per turn? It's 2 HP per second. So over the course of a 5-minute fight, that's what, 120 times 5 is 700 HP, and most fights last at least 5 minutes. So an extra 700 HP on your units is quite a lot. It's almost 10% extra health on most of them. A lot of them, it's way more than that. So especially on like ethereal units that start off with maybe 3,500 health or something like that, pretty significant. So it is useful, but I think early on we just need that combat effectiveness. So yep, I would like the leadership without having the huge penalty. This is nice, but okay, we're just gonna go with this guy. Yep. Let's recruit him. In here, we're gonna recruit. Skeletons are much cheaper, zombies rather are much cheaper, but they're less combat effective. So I think we're just gonna go 2 for 1 here to try to save a little bit of cash. These guys are similar to Manfred too. Like, they can get in there and really do some damage. They're not. I really don't like that look though. I wish I could have one with the full nose. Maybe I'm being ableist here. But to use a grad school term. But I mean, I guess anyone can use that term, but you hear that a term like that thrown around a lot in grad school. Okay, so we're hiring. We've got everything sieged. We've got our buildings done. We did diplomacy. We've got our tech going. I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Alright. So remember, it was going to take 2 turns for this, I believe. Let me just... So there's no dead to be raised here. Alright. Let's see if there are any dead here. Okay, so we can get 2 zombies. I think just in your capital, you just naturally spawn some more dead. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I think you get a little bit every turn. And you get these automatically. It doesn't take up any move. It doesn't take up anything. So you can just grab them automatically. So I think we have the firepower to go ahead and take this out. They have slightly stronger units, but they don't have a lord, and we do. So let's just go do that. I want to scout out their buildings too. I'm guilty of not doing this enough, but I just want to see what they have. So they have one of these, so I can sell this. I can go ahead and sell this. And then use this cemetery over here. So let's go ahead and just make sure it stays there. But I think we should be able to use this cemetery. Found caricature. Okay, it's actually going to let us auto-resolve this, so we're just going to do that. I've found sometimes it doesn't really give you favorable auto-resolves, especially once you get the Vargulf. It will kill them every auto-resolve, so we're going to have to fight a lot of manual fights anyways. It just does not use the zombies when you have large monsters in auto-resolve. It stacks all the damage on your Vargulf or your Vargulf or whatever, as it just runs everything into the other person. And zombies have such a low speed that they just usually don't even take any damage, which is the whole point. That's why you have the zombies. So they take damage. Okay, so we're just going to occupy this because we want that building. That building is going to be worth 1,000 dark magic. So I hope we get to keep it. Let's see if we do. Sometimes the auto-resolve, or the occupy is fickle and it won't give it to you. It should, though.
The taint of undeath is spread by your conquests, mighty lord. Your realm grows, and more distant lands now fall under your gaze.
This guy just sounds so epic. I love it.
And other kingdoms of men lie to the north.
I kind of wish I could sound like that, you know, in front of my class or for these broadcasts. You guys would be like, how old is this guy? Like, if I was doing the broadcast like that. But you'd think it was cool, admit it. You would think it would be pretty cool if I had a voice like that. Especially if I was playing the Vampire Counts.
Coming in of a living expeditionary force close to your territory, my lord.
Okay, so this will give us a necromancer. So we want to try to get this pretty soon.
A master of these lands once again.
So there's only... Now, they have some pretty serious stuff. They have some Reichsguard. I think Manfred can take these guys out, though. Or the Vargulf can take them out. So, yeah, I think we just have to. You just have to stay away from the halberdiers and the spearmen if you are the Vargulf. Just get these guys tied up with zombies or something, and then just go over and take these guys out. But I think we're going to need at least, you know, probably a 20 stack of just our little lowly zombies and other things, because zombies really aren't super combat effective. I mean, even when you get those upgrades, they're not fantastic, but they are certainly much better once you get the upgrades we talked about last episode. Okay, so we did get it. Okay, so we got to keep it, which means we can sell this. We could have sold this last turn, which would have let us buy this first. But I don't know. We could have done it, but we had no guarantees we were going to secure the cemetery. I mean, it could have just not given it to us, even though we chose Occupy. So, okay, and they cleverly put up a guard post over here. So they actually have some decent units. They have Crypt Horrors, they have a bunch of Crypt Ghouls. So we're going to have to double team this place with a lot of units to take this out. Get any raised dead? We did not. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the skill tree. So think about what I need to do. Probably gonna get Root Marcher.
Destroy them.
I guess I can just run over here and support Manfred next fight. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get Root Marcher then. Or whatever it's called. The Restless Dead. And then I can run over and just support Manfred next turn. Here, just to kind of limit the casualties.
Never.
And then I can transition from here and take this place. And then potentially go down here and take this place. So let's go ahead and hire.
Yes.
Do the same formula.
Yes, Wendell.
Save a little bit of cash. And
Kill them.
yeah.
Raise them.
So I think the game plan is come over here, support him, take Castle Templehof, take this fort. We won't have a rebellion, so that's good. Then we can run down here and take this place together. Or I could, you know,
I refuse.
Wipe them out.
I might just, after I
What?
win this siege battle, I could just hand off units to Manfred and then have him just come over here immediately and try to do this quest battle. That's a little bit more bold, but we should be able to pull that off, I think. I mean, okay, there's nothing to raise dead. Can't recruit while I'm in foreign territory.
What do
Okay,
you want?
so it's a little bold, but we might be able to go over and do this quest battle immediately because I really want that necromancer. You know, we weren't able to see exactly what he does with the encyclopedia because the internet over here, I guess, is shaky right now. But I think, I mean, my only you know, reason that I'm even thinking about this or considering another option is I want to take these guys out before they get too strong. So I want to be able to take them out early on before they get much of an army. And then that will let me complete this province, and then I should be able to rotate up here and complete this province. That'll give us 2 provinces really early. We'll get the quest battle out of the way, and then we can try to get this dwarf territory. Now, last time the orcs came in and did some damage to these guys. So, we'll see. Okay, but that's what we're doing this turn. There's no new buildings we can build. I think I want to go ahead and upgrade this. 2,000 is kind of expensive, but it does give you more cash. It gives you 80 more per turn. So that means it'll pay for it. It takes 3 buildings to build. So that means it'll pay for itself in, what, 20... I mean, a lot of turns, like 25 to 30 turns, something like that. Probably on the 30 turn side. But it does give you 10 growth also, and it gives you an extra slot so that I can get another growth building right here. Or I could get this building right there. So that might be what I do. I just get this building, and then I let us get up to Vargeists. I think that's the play. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. And then with our acquisition over here, we can get the growth building and maybe a money building. But as I've said before, the money building is really uninspiring. It's just 100 income a turn, which is, you know, nice. But I would also like to get these Vargeists pretty soon. I mean, they are expensive, but they're very useful early on. Is to have a couple of them in your army just to run out and just flank behind the enemy. So, okay, that's the game plan. So let's go ahead and I want to get this to tier 2. It's expensive, but it's an investment we need to do. We might get the growth building. We might get the growth building. I don't know. We'll see. We'll think about it. We have 3 turns to think about it. Sort of review the situation. This building chain also lets you get bats, and the bats are the important one. You can also get wolves, but the bats are much cheaper than wolves, and they serve a very similar effect, which is where you just run in and flank from behind. Now, the bats don't deal quite as much damage, but they're a lot more mobile because they can fly over the line and then flank in from behind. So, and they just have a lot more defense. So if you actually tie up gunners or something like that on the back line, they're probably not going to kill them, but they'll keep them busy for quite a while. And they're just a lot cheaper upkeep-wise, so I just really don't even get the wolves usually. I might get like 1 unit, but I really like the bats to tie up the back line. Okay, I think that's about it for this turn. So we moved, we're still sieging. Let's look at diplomacy one more time. See if anything new happened. I don't think it did. See if there's any new wars. Okay, Caracadrine is at war with Red Eye, so we might be able to get some money out of that. I don't think Red Eye will be able to come down and get us. Let's see. So let's see if they'll pay us 500 for this war. I doubt it. We might just get 300, but let's... I mean, let me just see what it started as real quick. If it starts at high, you can usually get about 1,000. Now, we could also try to get a non-aggression with these guys. I mean, if we get a non-aggression with them, that will help us diplomatically out a little bit. They have negative 40, though, aversion. Look at that. So there's... I just don't think there's any way that they're going to let us have a trade deal with them. The problem is we're going to rank up so fast because we take so much territory here. We're also going to get a negative modifier for that a lot of times. We don't have one yet. But like with Ostermark here, I think we have a modifier. So let's just go ahead and... You want to get these wars going as soon as you can if you don't think they're a threat also, because that means that that's even sooner that they will potentially pay you for peace. So... These guys, would they want to confederate?
It is an imbecilic thing to bother me. Others who have end up as my puppets.
Okay, so they don't want to confederate. I mean, if we confederated, that actually would save us a little bit of time just to take out this last city here, because this thing is going to take a few units to get. And we have such good public order anyways, there's really no reason not to confederate. Now, you don't want to have them pay you for peace and then turn around and attack them again. I mean, maybe I can do that as vampire counts. I haven't done that with the other factions because it hurts your diplomatic relations with everybody, so that no one wants to do business with you. But since everyone hates me anyways, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do any realistic diplomacy, maybe I should just go full traitorous mode and just say, yeah, I'll give you peace, have them pay me for it, and then just kill their buildings anyways. Because, why not? I mean... I have to have something. If I can't be a, you know, if I can't actually do diplomacy, I might as well be a schemer. Okay. So I usually like to try to play it, you know, relatively straight-laced, but right, let's see if this guy's going to pay us for this. I don't think he will, but we'll just take a look, see if we can get 300 out of this. He didn't pay us last time, but, you know, he may have changed his mind. He may have just run out of money last time, so... You know, it's always useful to ask. Okay, Ostermark, I'm not interested in going to war with those guys because they did a number on me last time. I was able to repel them, but it was annoying. Okay, I'm at war. And all these are fresh wars, so we're really not going to be able to get peace with anyone except for Templehof. I just want to see. Maybe Templehof will confederate after I get these two towns. Alright, so we're at a fresh turn, right? No, that's the end of this turn. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and go to a new turn. Alright, Winds of Magic changed. I don't really plan any strategy around the Winds of Magic. I'm not just like, I better not go into that territory because I'm not going to have as much Winds of Magic. So... Maybe I should, but it really doesn't influence my decision that much, so I don't pay that much attention to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Any raised dead? We do have a raised dead, so let's go ahead and just grab this. Any over here? A little bit. It's a little bit more expensive, but, you know, we just want some units right now just to fill out our roster. And last time I got a third lord to do stuff. I think 2 might be a good number early on. A third is pushing it. I might get a third once I get all of this territory. We'll see. You just can't expand out as fast as I hoped because you have to have the vampiric corruption really before you can do a ton of expanding, which is going to be another 7 turns, I think. So, okay. So we're going to go over and support this. We have to actually attack with Manfred. We can't attack with this guy because Manfred's the one who has the siege equipment. Let's take a look and see what they have. So they have a defiled cairn and a level 2 building. Well, we don't particularly need that because we're going to get the defiled cairn over here. Let me see. I mean, I guess we could just build it here and that would save us some money because how much is this going to... This is going to cost us quite a bit. It's 2,500 and it takes 3 turns to build. So we could just occupy this when we take it. We'd already have a tier 2. We'd have a defiled cairn. And that would let us... Because we want to get to tier 3 so we can get this extra corruption going other places. We don't need it. We don't need the corruption right now. I mean, it would also let us get a gibbet if we wanted. Just trying to think if I want to loot and occupy or just occupy. So I'm just scouting out the buildings. The cairn would be nice. That's basically worth 2,500 dark magic. This level 2 is worth another 2,000. And they don't have another building, but I would have another building slot. So this is worth 4,500. So let's just keep that in mind. And this would actually be quite useful because I do want to upgrade this. And once we start pushing into human territory... it would be nice to have our settlement that's really close have these ghouls. So I would also free up a slot over here to get this sinister copse or cops. I'm not sure what that is. What a copse is. I'll have to look that up. That's an interesting word. Okay. Oh, and I did look up a couple of things last time that I forgot to mention. So. Number 1, the Vargulf is able to heal because he's 1 unit at the start of the fight. So the trolls cannot heal past the amount of trolls they have. In other words, they can't resurrect new trolls. So if you start a fight with 6 trolls, it's going to say that you have, whatever, 3,200 health or something. You will not be able to regenerate past that 3,200 health. But that's because those other 6 trolls don't exist. They're dead. So it will not resurrect new units to heal up HP. So that's why it looked like I couldn't heal with trolls, but I could heal with the Vargulf, because the Vargulf is just a single unit. So we need to keep that in mind when we start getting these crypt horrors that also regenerate. It won't regenerate new crypt horrors. So, you know, it's the same deal. If we get down to 8 crypt horrors, we can't magically regenerate up to 12 at the start of the fight. We're just not going to be able to regenerate more than whatever that HP is at the start of the fight. So that's just something that I thought about and that I just kind of put together logically. Okay, also, I looked up... We looked at a skill on Manfred, and... What was it? One of the... Curse of the Undeath. Okay, so... Whenever you cast a spell, it replenishes. And I'm not sure of the exact number that the person said on the forum, and I'm not sure if they knew the exact number either, but they said that basically what this does is every time you cast a spell, it heals your units for something like 20 health. And so it's not a constant thing that ticks. It's only when you cast spells. And with Manfred, we're probably only going to cast maybe 10 spells or so per fight. Probably less than that. Probably 5 to 10. I do think that casting his boost spell, the thing that gives him extra spell power, probably triggers this as well. But it does heal every single thing on the battlefield. So if you were able to cast 10 spells, it would give 200 HP to everyone on the battlefield. But it would take 2 points to get to that. So I don't really want to invest 2 points in that. I'd rather get Restless Dead and then just start getting all of this, because this has so much good stuff in this tree. And this scales. A lot of this, well, not all of it. This stuff doesn't exactly scale, but the tree itself scales really nicely. So I want to get up the tree pretty soon. And this doesn't, I don't think this would scale very well the way the person described it on the forums that I could see. It didn't sound like it scaled. So it's just 20 HP all the time for everybody. And well, I guess my units don't scale in terms of HP either. In fact, some of the higher tier units have less HP than some of the lower tier units. But at any rate, I'm just not sure. So we're looking at 200 HP. That's good. I mean, that's... What? I'm trying to think. So 5... I mean, It's only like 2.5% of a zombie horde of 8,000. It's only 2.5% extra HP. And that's casting like 10 spells, which is not likely. So yeah, it's not really that good. So I looked it up. It's not as overpowered as I thought. It's pretty balanced, and it sounds like it's balanced on the low side. So it's not a constant effect. It is simply every time you cast a spell, you get a little bit extra. So it's cute, but I don't think that's where we want to be. Okay, so we're going to attack it with Manfred. That means it's going to tie up Manfred for a turn. Whatever, this is fine. I mean,
All die.
I want this quest battle, though. We'll see. Maybe we'll go do the quest battle first, pick this up, and then we'll come down and take care of these guys. Maybe that's the play. Because the sooner I get this quest battle done, the sooner I get that necromancer, and I want to start leveling him up. Okay, so let's just go ahead and fight this. So now we have even more support, so we should take even less damage.
Wipe them out.
Alright, so we're just going to auto-resolve this, for the reasons I explained last time. And now we, yeah, their garrison's all beat up. Auto-resolve it. Hopefully they don't stack all this on my Vargulf or Manfred, let's see. Okay, a little bit. So as you can see, they really like to put that damage on the people you don't want to put damage on. So the zombies take almost no damage, but the Vargulf and Manfred take a ton. So there'd probably be less casualties if I did it myself, but I don't want to waste a lot of time. Okay, so what was the number? So we get 2,500 for building that ghoul place, and we get 2,000 for having a tier 2 building. So that's 4,500. So they better give us both of these buildings. Even if they only give us one, either the tier 2 or the ghoul pit, it should be worth it. So we're just going to occupy.
This better be important.
Now, if it just gives us something like a tier 1 and a cemetery, I didn't see how much gold we were offered, but that probably wouldn't be worth it. What? Look at this troll. Are you kidding me? They gave us no buildings. 0 for Occupy. Occupy is supposed to give you buildings. I mean, is it a probability? I thought it always gives you buildings. Because over here, we got a cemetery for it. Gee, so we just got completely trolled out of this building. So we should have done loot and Occupy. I mean, maybe it's because I damaged the building with sitting here sieging it, instead of just taking it in one turn. I'm not really sure, but that's disappointing. I'll put it that way. And it's just a level 1 now. That puts us 4,500 dark magic in the hole to develop this. Okay, well, plan B. So what do we need more? Do we want the ghoul? I think we want the ghouls first. These are nice, but these are actually quite nice. Just trying to think. I want more growth here also. But the growth building's really expensive. So it's 750. With the other races that I played, it's only 500. So, and yes, it can build into something nice here. Getting that extra recruitment capacity is quite nice. But it's just too expensive to build and then destroy in a few turns. Whereas that's a consideration you can do with dwarves and orcs. It's like, okay, you just need a little bit of growth and you just destroy it in like, 5 turns or something, that's fine, because you'd only lose 200 gold off of that. So it might be worth it. But here, you'd be losing about 500 gold instead of 200. Maybe not that much, but you'd be definitely losing more. So it's not worth it. Okay, so my choices here, do I go for Defiled Cairn? So I can go for Defiled Cairn here, because this is already level 2, and then I can just get the Sinister Copse over here and get bats with that. And then we can just hold off on the Vargeist for a little while. I know I said I wanted them and they're useful, but they're also quite expensive. So we can probably wait on that. These ghouls are still pretty cost effective, and they apply a debuff, which is nice. So they're only 125. These guys are 250, and these guys are obviously better in most situations, but these guys are just easier to... mass up, and they build directly into the cryptors, which is the real prize. This is what I want, so. Alright, let's just go ahead and do it. So we want this. Tier 2. Well, we're probably not even going to be able to get the Vargulf for a little bit, just because we can get this here, but we're just not going to have the money to upgrade this or the growth for quite a while. So, but bats are useful, so we definitely do want bats. Okay, we're going to upgrade. So, do we get the hunger? Do we get the supremacy? They're both good, but I think we're going to go with hunger. That's just so good in combat, because once again, if you know, 500, or if we do 5 minutes in combat at, this heals 3 per second. So that's 3 times 60 is 180. So you're healing 180 health every minute. And if it's 5 minutes, that's 900 health. No. Yeah. Wow. That's even more than I thought. So in a 5-minute fight, he's basically getting 30% more HP. And some fights last longer than 5 minutes. Sometimes it lasts 10 minutes. The longer it lasts, the more you get out of it. So it's 3 HP per second. So that's massive health regeneration. So you absolutely want this. Okay. Alright.
I'll take Sigmar's throne.
Now we're going to go for Aura of Supremacy. You need a ton of leadership, because your guys will crumble pretty quickly if you don't have it. So we're probably going to get this just to boost up our zombies ASAP. And then this also, ghouls scale with this as well. So this is another reason to get ghouls over Vargeists if you have to choose early on. We wanted both, but we had to choose. So this also boosts up the ghouls. So that's another reason to get ghouls. So we're probably going to max this out, and then we're probably going to max this out, actually, because this is awesome. I mean, 15 leadership? That's almost an extra 30% leadership. That's so good. So I would like to, you know, with my other campaigns, I always run it up the middle with the red to get to, they call this different things, but it's always the same buff. It's plus 36 attack, defense, and leadership, which is awesome. With everybody, that's awesome. And that's particularly awesome with the undead because it gives you leadership as well. So this is an awesome cooldown, and you want to get to this quickly. But this is just so good. This is just exceptionally good for the undead that you really need Dark Pact ASAP. And I talked about why this is so good too with the scaling on zombies. So both of these are just max them out, and it should be a really nice power spike early on. Okay. Alright, nothing much to do here. Took it. Leveled both people up. We've got a little bit of movement left. So we can't move with Manfred. What we can we raise dead? We can't raise dead even though we just killed a bunch of things. Okay. We can't recruit either. Now if we step into this territory, we can recruit. So what we can do is recruit a bunch of units and then run over here. And I think I'm going to look at this garrison one more time. So they have crypt hordes. Those are scary. But everything else I think is fine. It looks like 2 bats and crypt hordes. 1 thing of crypt hordes. So I think they don't have walls. It's just a tier 1 gate. So I think what we can do is position over here, get some units, and the next turn we can attack and we can march over here and support with Manfred. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're just going to get as close as we can get here. I feel like units move a lot faster on this corrupted territory. I'm not 100% about that, but I feel like it just feels like they move a lot further than usual. Okay, even with Root Marcher, even with the 5% bonus, it still feels like a lot. But anyways, okay, so let's do, you know, I'm trying to think. I think just double zombie at this point. I've got enough skeletons. Just double zombie. Just throw those meat shields in there. Alright, so that's going to be our plan. And I think if we have... This will also let our Vargulf and Manfred heal up quite a lot, so that's nice. I think our plan is just going to be support, and this will give us 21 units versus theirs. And theirs are a little bit higher class, but we also have the Vargulf, and we also have 2 Lords. So I think we should be able to stomp that. We'll see. Okay, so there's that. We did the buildings already. Yep. Let's just look at some diplomacy real quick. Let's see.
Speak now, then go.
So they're not interested in Confederation. Okay. Are these guys interested in a Confederation? I don't think so. So we're starting to get this great power modifier because we're rank 3. It's only 10 with these, with the other vampires, but it's starting to get higher with other factions. What is it with these guys? So it's still only 10, I guess, because that's early in the game. Zifbar definitely doesn't like us. Yeah. Even though we have a treaty with these guys, they really don't like us. So I would have to like give them a lot of money and a lot of gifts to get a trade deal, and you know, I just don't think it's worth it. I'm just looking to see if there's any new enemies that we can work with, or any new peace treaties. They want peace yet? Okay. These guys might want peace. Once you get higher ranking, then people are also willing to do some peace treaties with you. Now, I just thought, I'm not sure, it may not let you actually declare war on the same turn that you declare peace. So I may not be able to exploit these guys, the vampire counts, as much as I want, but... okay, let's see if they do peace. Okay, no. I'm not going to do it for free, but if they, you know, they're warming up to the idea at least. Okay, so once we get peace with these guys, this is also a good way to get vision of a larger area, at least in terms of who they're at war with. So we could go to war with Wiesenland or Midland if we wanted to, for example. Even though we haven't discovered them because they've discovered them. So it doesn't actually give you vision on the map, but it gives you other diplomatic options once you start declaring wars. Okay, go ahead and call
it. The dead may be summoned to your will, my lord.
Okay,
Rapid.
we already know about that. Okay, so they are building another unit and mustering over here. So,
My bloodline calls.
I think we want this first because this will clean up our province. Then we can always just come back and kill this guy if we have to. But let's just go ahead and take this out. I'm not that worried that he's going to be able to come back and take this immediately. I mean, he might, but I doubt it.
This night.
Wow, yeah, look at this movement range. Like, this is just normal move. This isn't even running. And I can already get in range. I can almost fight this quest battle. That feels like it's very, very far to me. So I feel like they might get extra movement speed if you're on corrupted territory. I'm not 100% about that, but it just, that feels like a lot. Okay, so I can go over here. Okay, the Red Eye are actually coming down. They have a decent force, but not anything we can't handle, I think. So, okay. It should be auto-resolvable. And they better not stack all of this, so we would slaughter this. I mean, yes, these things are problematic, but I can just put the Vargulf on these guys, and then just siphon them with Manfred. They don't have a lord. Yeah, it would be a stomp. The only thing I'm concerned about is I hope they don't put all this damage on the Vargulf and Manfred. Even though they're the backup army, I just feel like they're going to do that. Just to troll me, but we'll see. If they do it, I might have to start manually resolving some of these things, guys, just because I can't have Manfred and the Vargulf in critical condition all the time. But let's just see. Try to save a little bit of time. Okay, at least these guys took some damage. Look at that. That is so troll. Like, why? I mean, yes, the Vargulf is a good tank, but that's ridiculous. That's so annoying, because that's not how I would fight the fight manually at all. Like, these zombies should have a lot more damage on them. Okay, I'm just going to have to manual fight things where I have this Vargulf, because that's just unacceptable. I can't have him in critical condition all the time. Okay, so they should have had a gate here and that other building. We got trolled over here, so I think, you know, we might need to just learn our lesson and just knock out this building. So if I sack it, it's going to... It had to be level 2. So I think it's just going to knock it down to level 1 and knock out all the other buildings. But as we saw, they love to troll us and not give us any buildings. At least that just happened to us, so... I think just taking the guaranteed 2,000 is probably the play here. I mean, I could occupy it and hope that they give us those buildings, but we would have to get everything. Like, we could sell the gate for maybe 1,000. We could sell... I don't remember what the other building they had was, but it was one of the starter buildings, so it's probably worth 2,000. So we could probably sell that for 1,000. So even in the rosy scenario where they give us the 2 buildings, we're still only going to be getting this. Now we would have a level 2 building though, potentially. Loot and occupy just doesn't seem wise. I mean, it might let us keep... Now loot and occupy, if we got to keep 1 building, it would be worth it. Because 500 gold for a building is a pretty good deal. So maybe we just loot and occupy here. Because there could be some buildings that would be useful. Because even if we just sell the building, a lot of those buildings will sell for 600, a lot of those starting buildings. So that would be more than this. I don't think occupy is on the table just because I need money. Like, I don't want to get trolled again. Okay, let's just do loot and occupy. Let's meet it halfway in the middle. So we might get a building here. If we don't, you know, it's not the end of the world. So we're paying 500 dark magic to gamble on getting a building. Okay, and we did. This is actually a pretty good one. So, yeah, this is definitely worth 1,000. Now, we already built one over here. So I think that means we just have to sell this one. So we're going to lose 600. I mean, whatever. We'll keep it for now. We don't need to sell it, but it's on the table. We can sell it if we have to.
What?
Okay, so let's upgrade this. Man, forgot another level. We're going to get Host of the Unliving. Well, now our Vargulf is extremely hurt. So I'm not as sure we can win this fight now, this quest battle. Because now our Vargulf is very hurt. We can't run to another town to regenerate. This guy can't run to another town. We can't raise dead, even though we just killed a bunch of stuff. We can hire more units. I mean, how crazy am I feeling? So I could start the fight, use magic to heal him up, and just hide in the woods maybe and try to heal up. Like get in a corner and just like fast forward it. Slightly exploitative, but they just stacked all the damage on this, and if I would have fought this manually, I would have just lost some zombies probably. So I might be able to make it work like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to have tree cover, but I think what I want to do is just hand off some units here and try to just fight this, because I want to get this quest battle out of the way. If I do that, I'm not going to be able to hire.
More sleep shines.
I mean, next turn I could also hand off some units, but I want to go over here and deal with this guy before he gets too many units.
Yes.
That's fine. I won't have to move very far. So I'll just recruit here for now. So let's just go ahead and recruit. Do they have... Let me see what they have here again. Okay, so they do have a couple of range units that I need to lock up. So I think a couple of bats would be nice. Okay, so we'll go 2 bats, and the hounds are just way too expensive for what they are, I think. Do 2 bats, and do some more zombies. I think would be nice. Well, it's kind of a serious fight, and our Vargulf's going to be hurt, so... I mean, we could get reinforcements against us. It could be a surprise, so... Just do that, and then next turn we'll hand off... some skeletons, and then we'll run over here and defend this castle from these guys, and then we can rotate back over with Manfred, dash, and take this out if we have to. Okay. Now we get a edict. We get an edict. Growth. We don't really need public order. So we are recruiting, but not really that much. We're not going to be recruiting that much next turn. Tax rate 5%. You know, that's going to be 70 dark magic per turn. We still have a pretty healthy amount going on here. So let's just go for the growth. We don't really need the vampiric corruption, but the 20 growth will certainly help us out a lot. I mean, that's going to give us 50% more growth, which is something we're definitely in the market for. Okay. So then we want to upgrade this building as soon as possible, and then we can just put growth buildings here. Oh, okay, this finished. So we definitely want this immediately. So this is another 250. And it takes 4 turns to build, so that's going to basically it'll pay for itself in 10 turns. As I said before, if you can get a 10 turn, you need to do it. Okay, so we can hand off this next turn. We've got all that planned. Look at the buildings real quick. We've got all this going. I think we looked at diplomacy, and if we didn't, I don't think much changed. Let me see the... People probably just hate us more than they did before. Oh, we did get a tech. So we finished that, so now we're actually getting the growth. And it's going to be 12 turns before we get this vampiric corruption. That'll really help us expand more. But we might go ahead and just try to expand anyways and just try to start getting some of this dwarf territory. If we get the necromancer, I'm hoping he can help us out with vampiric corruption. We'll see what he has. Okay, so I think that's it. So let's go ahead and start a new episode. Or not a new episode, but it's about the end of this episode. But not quite yet.
Rival power comes to parley, demanding a change in your mutual relations.
So now they're willing to pay us for peace. So
carefully.
the Empire paid us 300 to go to war with them, and now they're paying us 300 for peace. So I'm okay with that. Now we're going to find the neck snappers if we do that, and they might pay us to go to war with the neck snappers. So we're just wheeling and dealing with wars. And this is a dangerous maneuver. This is not exploitative, because sometimes these armies do come over and attack you. So I went to war with some obscure dwarves over here in my 20-turn campaign, and they were knocking on my door with a 20-stack army in about 5 turns. So sometimes they will just beeline past everybody else to run straight at you. Now I think it is safer if they're at war with more people. So if they're at war with a ton of people, they may just not have time for you. Okay.
Your prestige grows.
So we got some bonus.
News of your conquests spreads.
I don't really
far
keep up
and
with these
wide.
bonus objectives that much, honestly,
Your
because
developing power is noted by even the most distant of kings and bestial lords.
but I will look at them here in a second, because usually I'm just taking territories so fast, and the main objective is usually taking territories, and these are like finish certain research or do something else that's, you know, gonna take a while, and I just take properties so fast, and it's in my best interest, I think, usually just to take the properties and not even worry about getting these secondary objectives, because I just want the property as fast as possible. With the vampires, I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit, maybe. We'll see what this necromancer can do for us. Okay, so 4,000 bonus, that's good. Extra wins of magic, okay. So it wants us to get these 6 different settlements. So let's just take a look here real quick. Just see what some of these secondaries are. So, well, that's a pretty short list. So you just have to take out the Empire, the Dwarfs, and Bretonnia. And then push back Archaon into the Chaos Wastes. And control 20 provinces. So that's pretty rough. But as I said, I want the whole map. So we will definitely be heading south to try to take out the Greenskins and the Dwarves. I mean, we have to head south anyway to take out the Dwarves. But we're going to be going for everybody. So, I mean, Bretonnia is on the other side of the world. I think Bretonnia is over here. So I'm still going to go down here and take everything. I'm just going to take everything in the world. That's what I want to do in this campaign. I mean, if it starts getting super redundant at the very end, if we're just, you know, we have like 10, 20 stacks and we're just kind of walking around, you know, we'll just speed it up. But, okay, so we're about done with time
I'll take Sigmar's throne.
for this episode. I'd like to keep them to about an hour. I do want this quest battle. I don't think we've fought a manual fight yet. And I do want this quest battle, so we might run over by a little bit. But I just want to try to get a fight in every episode if we can. That's not always going to be possible, so don't expect it every time. But I would like to just go ahead and get a fight in here. So what I'm going to do... Can we raise dead? We can raise a few zombies. So what I want to do is hand off... What kind of units did this guy get? So we don't know for sure, but he's getting about 3 per turn. I think zombies should be able to hold him off. So we should be able to hand off quite a few skeletons here. So let's just go ahead and hand off some units. I just want to make sure that we get this handled. So this might invite this guy to come over and attack our town, but you know, we also have this garrison, so that's fine. I think we can hold it with the garrison and just I was gonna say a skeleton crew of zombies, but that's probably a misnomer with this this army. But okay, let's go ahead and fight this. I think we can do it. So we handed off a bunch of stuff. Let's just grab a couple of zombies here. Now I could have also just handed off zombies, but I would have just bought them with this lord anyway, so it doesn't matter who I buy it with.
I'll take Sigmar's throne.
Alright, so 20 stack. Hopefully this is enough. Wow, it's really not giving me the odds here. Just because we have so many zombies, but they're underestimating. I think they're really underestimating what Manfred's going to be able to do, and what this Vargulf will hopefully be able to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get in there. So our goal is just to keep the Vargulf away from the guys with the pointy things. So keep them away from the halberdiers, keep them away from the spears. Get the bats to lock up the ranged units, and just get the zombies to just tie all this stuff up as much as possible. And then use Manfred to just spam Siphon Life until their general drops. So, okay, nothing that fancy. Let's just get in. Now at the beginning, we're going to see just how much time we can buy to heal up this Vargulf. And once again, that's borderline. I don't feel great about that. I feel like that might be slightly exploitative, perhaps. But I think, you know, when I fought, what was that last one I had? I don't even remember, like 28 units or something. Okay, let's watch this. I haven't seen this yet.
Arise, grave-bound. I command thee to attend. Franz, the son of whores and tumorous burgomeisters, thinks the crown is his. But the house of the Reichland electors is tainted. As the last great count of Stirland, mine claim is the truest. I should be emperor. I will be emperor. Bring thy swords. Go, mine minions. Reap death. Dance a dance macabre.
Okay. So we're not going to get to hide that much and heal up this Vargulf. I was hoping we'd get a little bit more. But we just want to position in the back, I think. Let's just get like over here. And can we use these woods? Is this in I think this is in bounds, I think. It's hard to tell. Yeah, here's the edge of the map. So we could actually run up in the woods. And this would be quite good. Now, that also means there might be reinforcements coming from up here. I haven't done this, so I don't know for sure what's going to happen here, guys. But I think I want to get up in the woods. Number one, I want to buy time for this Vargulf to heal. But number two, the cavalry and large units lose effectiveness in the woods. So yes, my Vargulf's going to lose a little effectiveness too. We can try to position him outside of the woods a little bit, so that we don't, so that we can maximize his skills. But it will nullify a little bit of what these horses can do. So that's good. And they have, well, I can't click on them and see what they have, but it lowers their attack or whatever, their melee attack by 20%. So, you know, it's useful. Okay, so we're just gonna have to like haul it. We might even just retreat back into these woods. Just like run like right here maybe. Just as fast as possible. And it's not very fast when you're zombies, but okay, so let's just position this guy and the Vargulf back here. And I want to just go ahead and cast this heal on him as soon as I can. Let's see, so we have these are 8. Alright, let's go and get these over here. Now we could just try to distract him. So let's just see if we can distract him with the bats here and just kind of, because the bats are really fast. So just buy some time, just get him a little concerned. Okay, so I just want to distract him a little bit. Just go over here, just get him thinking, like, you know, that I might try to flank him. I'm going to go ahead and pop Manfred's thing here to get a little bit of extra power. Now, I do have quite a lot of power reserve here, which is nice. What are these? Are they trying to shoot us? No, so they're a little concerned of a flank here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. They're just chilling. They're just going to let us go over here and do this. Oops, I don't want to misclick this. Let's go ahead and move him out a little bit. I mean, I could just fully wait on him to heal and just not even use the other thing. I have plenty of time. 68. Let's see if it gives us more than we started with. So 73, so it gives us about 5 per turn. 5 per use. We have a ton of time for this fight, so we can just hang out for a little bit, I think. So once again, is this exploitative? Maybe a little bit, but I think that the way they did that auto-resolve last turn was exploitative. Okay, so you can't start with any more than you started the battle with, I don't believe. How did I actually lose magic? Does your power reserve just drop over time or something? Or is it just temporary? I don't know. I don't know all the magic mechanics yet because I haven't really used them in depth. So 68 takes me up to 73. Okay, yeah, it's just for a small amount of time. Okay, so that's good to know. So I could go ahead and cast this and then cast this, and it would save a little bit of time here. It still went down to 62 though. Huh. Okay. So I don't want to use that much anymore. Okay, so he's almost healed up. Just took about 8 minutes off the clock, that's fine. Okay, I think we go ahead and start moving up. So what I want to do here then is I can maybe get some high ground here, although I think I just want to creep up in these woods. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so just put a shiny thing in their face there. Just to distract them. Okay. Now they want to come for us, I think. They are definitely... I saw them moving around a little bit. I'm surprised they haven't just like walked up and shot at me a little bit. Okay, so their halberdiers are here. Spearmen. Okay, spearmen. So a lot of their spears are over here. So we want to lock this up. Swords, crossbows, halberdiers. Okay, so it's kind of spread out. So we want the Vargulf fighting probably the Reiksguard. Probably the Reiksguard. Because they have a lot of armor and he has a lot of armor piercing. So that's probably where we want to be. Okay, let's just trudging along here. Let's go ahead and speed this up just a little bit. Manfred's walking. You are not walking, sir. You need to start running. And these guys are going to be really tired when they get over here, too. So you always want to keep your vigor in mind. And just make sure that all your units are fresh before you start the fight, if you can at all help that. Okay, so let's just go right here with this half. Actually, we want the zombies up front. Just do that. And then these guys can hang out here, maybe. Okay, so they definitely see us. Because they're repositioning. And we want to fight in the woods. If we can at all get the horses to come into the woods, that's what we want. Now, the Vargulf is also going to get a penalty, so... You know, maybe we don't use the Vargulf on the horses, but we don't want the halberdiers to get a hold of the Vargulf. That's our primary objective. You know, I'm fine with lower damage overall on the Vargulf, though. If I'm dealing less damage to the horses and they're dealing less damage to me, that's fine, because I regenerate and they don't. So, you know, lower damage fight favors me. Because your regeneration is a lot more effective if you're taking less damage. Overall, it gives it more time to regenerate even more health. So... Alright. This is... Okay, so I want zombies. I'm just going to make the zombies their own group. Because I really want them to die before everyone else dies. Okay. We'll do the zombies first here. Because the skeletons are still kind of, you know, they're pretty useful for early in the game. The bats are fine right here. You know, I don't think they're going to come at us. They might. Why is it not? Oh, this is like a huge cliff or something. Okay, so let's see. So we're not going to be able to get at them in the woods because this is unmovable territory. So that's not going to happen. So, I mean, that's okay. It's not great. I wish we could fight them in the woods, but they're not biting. Now, this strategy also would not work if they had artillery, and they were positioning artillery to shoot at us, so... This would have roughly been the result if they hadn't trolled me on that auto-resolve, so, you know, I would have come in with the Vargulf that was full health. So, I'm just justifying it to myself, because it does feel a little bit shady, like I said, but that auto-resolve is shady. So, I think it balances out. I hope you guys agree. If you don't, just let me know in the comments, and I will, you know, I won't do this anymore. But I feel like after that particular auto-resolve, I want to do this, and I need to do this quest as soon as possible, because I really want that necromancer, and I'm really hoping that he can do something to spread vampiric corruption. Okay, so now they're firing at me, so we've got to just go ahead and commit here. Okay, so you obviously don't send them all at one person, but just get them walking a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to this. I'll leech this guy. Okay, so we want these... We just want to freak out these halberdiers a little bit, see if they'll stay on the back line here. Okay, here we go. Get the Vargulf on these guys. Let's just go ahead and throw Manfred on them also. I really want those guys out of here. Okay, I want the skeletons on the halberdiers. Let's go ahead and flank these guys in the back. Okay, Manfred, let's, I want to get around and flank with him. Whatever, we'll just get in there with him. It's fine. Where do I want to go? Let's go over here. Alright, so we'll do one more leech on this guy. That should clean him up. Then we can wrap around and flank these guys. So let's get these bats. So they're doing a pretty good job of just hamstringing these guys. These knights are definitely putting in some work, but... So we're going to do one more leech. Did he run already? Or did he die? I lost sight of him. I was looking at something else. Okay, Okay, so just get on them, chase them down. Okay, let's wrap around. Get a flank in here. Okay, so these guys are running. They're horses, so we're probably not going to run them down. That's fine. So let's just get back over here. Get a flank on these guys. I don't think I need to heal anything. I mean, I could heal like some skeletons or something if I wanted to. Just get in here. Oh, they're coming back. Okay. I thought they were broken. Maybe they were just running. I don't know. I don't see their lord. I guess I killed him. I'm not 100%. Alright, let's go ahead and get something in the back here. Go ahead and slide these guys over. This is just too clumped up. I just want to sneak over and just get behind these guys. Now, I don't see anything I want to Spirit Leech. Yeah, I do. I want to go ahead and Spirit Leech these guys and just see. I might not be able to kill them all, but just get over here. Doesn't deal a ton of damage to multiple units, but... Okay, these bats are still running down halberdiers. That's fine. These bats are doing the same. Or these archer units. That's fine. Alright, let's go ahead and rotate over. Now I could heal something. So what needs to be healed? Let's just go ahead and throw some right here. I want to get... Get over here. Okay, get over here, guys. Come on. Rotate around a little bit. It's just way too clumped. Okay, let's just go ahead and sneak around this way. You've got to kind of do this. It's a little weird. You're pulling your guys out of combat, but they will just clump up so much that you just really have to. It's really just kind of a little dance to get full coverage. This guy's coming back, seriously? Alright. So now we're going to run over here. These guys are running. Let's run them down with the bats. I think, yeah, we pretty much killed everything. This bat's definitely put in some work against these archers. Where's Manfred? Okay, everybody's running. I think that's going to be it. So I just want to run them down with the bats. I think everyone's going to die. They didn't get reinforcements. That's nice. Let's just go ahead and just use all of our magic here. This Vargulf should be able to run some people down too, I think. Get moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and speed this up. I'm not sure if I get credit if everyone just dies at the end. In terms of experience, so I'm just gonna try to kill all these people. Okay, so the bats are running people down. Let's see if we can run over here and get these guys. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's fine. So we're pretty much out of power. Just go ahead and do this. See if we can get a little bit more. Trying to slow them down. It'd be nice if they had poison, and that would actually slow them down so I could catch them, but... So the bats are quite good early for their price. I mean, look, they killed 86, almost 200. Now, granted, a lot of these are kind of rundown kills, but if you get them back on archers, especially ones that aren't armored, you can just get a ton of damage. So... Okay, I know this is the end of the episode, we're definitely over time, but I just wanted you guys to have a battle in here. It was a pretty good one. Pretty good one. We ended up stomping him, but it's pretty good. Remember, it was only giving us 50%, so you really just have to be able to micro units because it's not going to be able to calculate this kind of stuff for you very well. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Close victory. Whatever, that was a stomp. Like, all they killed was zombies. Vargulf and Manfred are unscratched. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they killed 900 units. Like, all zombies, basically. Alright, so gained a rank, that's nice. I think we want the dark magic here, because we're not going to have another major fight for a couple of turns, and we don't have anything important that's really hurt, so I think we're just going to go dark magic.
To the shadows.
Whoa.
I will not betray you.
How did he get to run? Okay, he died. I was like, what? I was like, how does a quest battle run? Okay. So we'll go ahead and call that for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a few things that are useful. If you have any tips or tricks for me to help me out, just let me know, and I'll be happy to try to integrate that into my playstyle. But as always, I appreciate it. If you enjoy this content and you want to see more and really help me out, please consider subscribing or at least liking the page. If you're not sure if you want to subscribe yet, you want to see a few more videos before you make that huge commitment, then at least give me a like. And then if you watch a few of these videos, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a ton, not only with motivation, but just building up a following, getting other people in here to see content and such. Especially because I'm going to start bringing out that the educational content pretty soon, as soon as I learn how to use some of this software a little bit better. I would like to get as many eyes in here as possible to just see all this great content that I hope to bring to you guys. So thank you very much. It's always a pleasure broadcasting for you, and have a wonderful evening.